Alright guys, welcome once again to Legends of Evil, where I spotlight the villains outside of the comic book genre. And today I'm going to be spotlighting the Duke of Destruction, the Monarch of Mayhem, the greatest in the galaxy, Lord Hader! God, that is really hard on the throat. That's what she said. Oh, I felt that one. Anywho, let's talk a bit about Lord Hader from Wander Over Yonder. Now, Lord Hader's origin is really wrapped up in mystery. It never got to be explained of how, much like with Lord Dominator, we don't know where he came from, we don't know why he's so evil, or, you know, if there even is a reason. All that we know is that he is in charge of, well, not really in charge, he leads an army through fear called the Watchdogs with his right-hand man, Commander Peepers, at his side, and was once one of the most feared villain in the galaxy. And that was going good until a certain little orange fuzzball and his blue horse showed up. And after that, he became so obsessed with just destroying Wander. But much like with Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny, yeah, it didn't go so well for him. Anyway, so Lord Hader was once known as greatest in the galaxy, but after he got so fixated on destroying Wander, the problem is that he got so obsessed with destroying Wander and Sylvia, it basically became that he started losing planets and territories to other villains. You have to understand, there aren't really a lot of good guys in the Wander Over Yonder universe, and if there are, they just kind of keep to themselves. When, in fact, there are tons of villains, and all of them are competing for control. And Hader was at the top of the game until, Wander showed up and he started losing planets, much to the chagrin of Peepers. Now, Peepers, I want to talk about real quick, is much like his Sylvia. Much like with Sylvia is to Wander, Peepers is very much the same way, in that he keeps Hader focused, because if he didn't, well, it'd be a lot worse. Now, Hader is incredible. He is just angry all the time. He just wakes up angry. If he's not angry, then something's wrong. He's also, here's the problem with him. Here's the biggest problem. It's not his obsession with Wander. It's more along the lines of, he may be the greatest in the galaxy, but he's not the smartest in the galaxy. He's kind of dense. And that's putting it lightly. Now, Hader is incredibly powerful. Despite his drive and his intelligence, he's actually possibly one of the most powerful beings in the Wander Over Yonder universe. He has been shown to not only cast beams of green lightning, but also he can create force fields, he can levitate objects, he can levitate people, and create giant barriers around even planets. He's also capable of some form of flight, a little bit, but he's also incredibly durable. So keep that in mind. If he was a little smarter, then yeah. And let's not forget that he has a striking resemblance to another certain skull-faced guy. I have found my replacement to destroy He-Man! Yeah, you didn't think Skeletor would show up, what did you? No, you didn't. Haha. So, Hader, getting back to him, Hader he's a tyrant, but he's not the best tyrant. He's not good at tyranting, if that's not a word, but I'm making it one now. He's not exactly, he's cruel, but he's not, like, Dominator-level evil. There is some points to him, but he's not necessarily the worst person in the galaxy. He does claim to be the best villain ever, but he's more like, if I have planets, people, I'll be, the top dog. And he's not, even though he's a bad person, he is not the worst person to be ruled by. The worst you're gonna get is not a lot. I'm trying to think of, like, all the evil he has done, and there has been some evil deeds he has done, but yeah, it doesn't really amount to the evil that Dominator laid out. And Hader, at points, even saved the galaxy, just so he could take it over later. And that's probably in due to Commander Peepers and the Watchdogs keeping him focused. That's the thing, is that, much like with why, Wander has Sylvia and all of their friends they make, Hater has Peepers and the Watchdogs to keep him company, whereas Dominator just had the Dombots and no one else. And we saw how the Dombots are like. But Hater does have, I guess he doesn't hate he did hate the Watchdogs at one point, but after the end of Season 1, he finally discovered, hey, the Watchdogs are kind of awesome. But yeah, that's kind of the thing, is that, even though he kind of bullies them and makes fun of them, he still needs them. He's still, because they're the only army he has, and they're the only people loyal to him. No matter how much he yells at them or tells them how dumb they are, he's actually, he's kind of cool, he's pretty good with them, He actually treats them pretty well. He treats them to an extent pretty well after Season 1. Plus, he's the only guy who gives out, he's the only evil genius who can give out tacos and burritos for lunch menus on a daily basis. Like, good burritos, not school cafeteria stuff. Like, there's actually a food court in his ship. That's the other thing. Whereas, much like Dominator, who had her own ship, Hater has his own ship, which can actually go into a Skull Crusher mode, which becomes a giant skull-fanged head. And, yeah, at the end of Season 2, Hater actually got his stuff together. And I love that moment where Peepers is like, where's this Hater been all this whole season of our lives? Yeah, so again, it goes back to, if he really puts his mind to it, Hater can accomplish a lot. But Hater, like I said, Hater has done just as much good as he has done evil. In fact, most of Season 2 is him trying to stop Dominator. Well, stop at midway through, but at first, after discovering Dominator was a lady, kind of became a blathering idiot and more obsessed with trying to get Dominator's attention than he was trying to conquer worlds, even. And the rest of the Watchdogs, and Peepers was the only one who was like, sir, we really need to get back to doing, evil stuff. And the Watchdogs were kind of like, we're not getting shot at anymore. This is actually kind of better. The other thing is that, like I said, the Watchdogs, and Peepers especially, are incredibly loyal to him. Probably because they kind of need his ship, as well as I kind of imagine it that Hater's a lot like Gru, where he just took in the minions. I just have this headcanon that Lord Hater took in the Watchdog species and made them his personal army, and hence why they're loyal to him. So, that's at least my headcanon in some weird cosmic sort of way. So there's not much else to say about Lord Hater other than, hates great, best villain, hates great, best villain, hates great, best villain. That's all you can really say about the greatest in the galaxy. But what do you guys think of Lord Hater? Do you guys like him? Do you guys hate him? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.